gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, everyone, welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1198. This is your host, Danny Pena, and wow, we have the whole crew here. It's been a while since we recorded a podcast together. Let's start with Paris, man. Paris, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Doing good. Good morning. Good. We lost an hour.
I know. I know. And also, Pete.
What up?
See you, bro. What's up, Pete?
How you doing?
Pete, you guys didn't change your time over there at all,
no,
right?
we have time change in 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we let you guys sort it out, and then we'll join you.
So is it forward or back?
It's the same. It's the same concept. Spring forward, fall back. So we'll lose an hour just like you guys.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, stay over there. Don't come back over here. All right. So
all right, I'll remember that next month.
All right, everyone. Remember, head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. You also can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. And yeah, come on. It just takes a couple seconds. Subscribe, follow us, and also post your review. If you would like to be part of our family discussion, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so I sent some topics yesterday. Honestly, there's nothing really big going on with news, but there's a couple of things that I found out that some changes coming up this year. It looks like officially, E3 is going full digital this year. I think they just sent an email to like the publishers and developers a couple of days ago. But then I'm looking at the news too, and it says Gamescom is in person this year. So my question to you guys is this. It's not looking good for E3, man, because PAX is going to be in person. Gamescom looks like now it's officially going to be in person. Smaller crowd, of course. Let's just say, make believe, Jeff Keighley and surprise everyone says, hey, Summer Game Fest in person too. Like everything is in person except E3. How bad is that for E3, man? Paris?
You already know my thoughts on E3. It just needs to end at this point. I get with the pandemic going all digital last year. The fact that they're going all digital again this year, we knew what, like, I think the thing that people tend to forget is before the pandemic, what was E3 going to be? People seem to forget that 2020, before all this happened, what they were planning to do for in-person E3 was terrible. It just was. I mean, you know, I hate to be so harsh about it, but it wasn't appealing. We obviously saw Jeff Keighley had already decided to part ways from E3. You know, PlayStation was not going to go. It was going to be a shell of itself even before the pandemic. So now that we're in this post-pandemic world, not post, we're still in it, but in this world where we're starting to see some live events happen again. They're staying digital only. We saw what it was. It was chaos last year being digital only. I honestly don't even know what the point of it was last year being digital. So looking at it coming into this year, honestly, what is there to get excited about with E3? Yeah, it's a great name in theory, but we've been saying it on here for years that E3 was going to go away. And it pretty much has at this point. I really don't see a purpose for it because, you know, Xbox, Ubisoft, 2K, all the rest of them, they can do their own digital events without being a part of E3, which is pretty much what they did last year, you know, so I don't see what the point of it is anymore.
Yeah, but the problem too, Paris, last year there was a digital version of E3. And there was companies that had presentations, but there was no announcement. So I was like, what is the point?
What was the point?
What was the point of having a company like Camcom with no announcements? They were just talking about esports at E3. It just made zero sense. But Pete, you live, in Europe. I think this would be a great opportunity for you to check out Gamescom for the first time, right? You've never been there, but
that's correct.
Your thoughts about that too, Pete? E3 going digital. Now you see more events happening. Look, I just went to DICE Summit a couple of weeks ago. Now GDC is happening, I think, this weekend in San Francisco. So slowly we're getting to see a lot of events happening, right? But I feel like a lot of companies realize that they could do this on their own during the summer. I know a lot of companies could work with each other on like the dates, on when they're gonna have like their announcements and everything, and it will work fine. People will talk about it. Now PlayStation, they'll wait until like all that is done. When there is no buzz, they'll come out of left field and have like their own showcase. So what are your thoughts about all this, Pete?
Well, I think we have to take into consideration, and especially over the last 3 years, it's been made abundantly more evident to me, just being here, that it's not always about North America. I know we're primarily a North America based podcast and so on, but Gamescom shows exactly why it is a much larger show in general than E3. At the end of the day, this is going to be an online event as well. It's supposed to be done both online and physical. We'll have both, they say organizers are promising this will be simulated online with both versions of the event, also having interactive quests and rewards. So Paris was there a few years ago. He got to experience Gamescom firsthand. And it has always been the much bigger version of E3, or the version that the folks at the Triple E or whatever have always wanted it to be, right? The ESA has always wanted it to be its own version of Gamescom, albeit in a smaller setting. That's why I think what they were trying to achieve when they started letting it go public, but I don't think they took enough cues from the Gamescom folks on how to organize and how to better design the overall venue to capitalize on traffic flow and taking care of the individual components of a show like that. Folks like us, from the Gamertag radios on to Kind of Funnies and IGNs, are there for work, whereas the public side is there more for a personal enjoyment thing. So the way Gamescom does it is the right way. Is you have a split. You have you have the work side and you've got the personal enjoyment side, and there is a mixture in the middle. And and I think had E3 done it that way and gave a priority, and maybe priority is the wrong word, but understood the relationship between the two and how to mix them too, I think we would be having a different conversation. Obviously, the pandemic threw everything out the window and everybody's starting from scratch. But if I have a chance to attend this year to Gamescom, I look forward just to experience it, right? Just to experience it. E3 was already on its last legs. I think what we saw over the last 3 years prior to the pandemic was them essentially throwing the salary book at Kobe at the end of the Lakers run, right? It was just doing everything they could to try to hope to win the chip. But, and it ended up, hurting them more so simply, salary cap reasons or whatever. Moving forward, I think we'll see shows like Gamescom, we'll see shows like Tokyo Game Show, hopefully come back to what it was pre-pandemic. But I do agree with both of you saying that these first-person digital-only events, we've seen it from Nintendo. They've capitalized on the trees that they do. The Microsoft only events or the Xbox Showcase or the Sony PlayStation, those have shown and highlighted that they can do it on its own. And over the last 2 or 3 years, they've they've more than proved that is the format. That'll be the prevailing format moving forward because they control all of the narrative. They control the entire story. They don't have to risk any leaks or anything because somebody saw it and snuck a camera into the event or saw it or took a video of it. You're much more capable of just keeping all of that focused and leak free. I think that's a much larger part of it as well.
Yeah, and having someone like some Paris Lily guy there hosting the showcase extended.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about can't cook and all that stuff. That has nothing to do with E3. What the heck, man?
But it was the most talked about thing from that though.
I know.
So I mean, it had its place. It had its place, and it did as well. It did it.
You
well.
know what? I can't front. That was a moment that I was like, yo, that was very slick how he did it, yo. And I'm wondering how the hell Paris pulled that off.
The slow pan on the controller. The slow pan on the controller is what did it all because like everybody's like,
genius.
Oh.
The beauty of that whole thing was I literally did it on the spot. There was no rehearsal. The only thing I did was, and I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but the guy I sat down with, to talk about, Design Lab. I just gave him a heads up that I was like, hey, I got a custom controller. It's a funny, rib at a friend of mine. Do you mind if I, comment on it or whatever? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So then I just riffed. It was like one take. I did it.
That was perfect. That was so perfect. Yeah, that was good. So I know next month, and I already announced this a couple of days ago, but I'm going to be part of GamesBeat Summit 2022. It's going to be an in-person event, the first day only. The other day is going to be all virtual. I'm going to do a fireside with Reggie Fils-Aimé, and we're going to be talking about, stuff about the industry, a little bit maybe about his life, because his new book is coming out sometime in May. So I just want to give a shout out to Dean Takahashi and the whole team over there at GamesBeat for inviting me to be part of this, man. So, and also Reggie too. I can't wait. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
I triple double dog dare you to do a joke on Reggie and say Reggie can't cook or something like that. I triple double do it.
Why would I do that?
Do it. Make fun of him during the interview and see what he does.
Now, will you do it on stage?
This isn't about me. This is about you.
He had his opopportunity and he took it. Now it's yours.
And actually, clearly, my track record says yes, I would. How about that? I have film.
Wow. My God. He also did that during the live interview on G4 talking about Destiny. I'm like, oh, Paris is not going to let that go at all. Now, it was interesting seeing the tweets of people talking about State of Play and Nintendo Direct. And I think it was Jez, Windows Central, said something like, man, Microsoft has been kind of quiet, man. Like, it will be cool for them to have like updates like this, once in a while. It doesn't have to be big, huge announcements. I know this week coming up is Idea at Xbox, coming up. Is that enough for Xbox or something like that? Or do you think that the company should be quiet until maybe closer to
No,
E3?
I don't. And actually, we talk about this on XCast, and I think they could have 4 to 5 events a year. And my thought was, you bring back Inside Xbox, you kind of reformat it, you have some dedicated hosts, you do a Q1 Inside Xbox, you do a Q2 Inside Xbox, you still have something like ID at Xbox, then you have your quote-unquote big showcase in June, E3, whatever you want to call it. You do something at Gamescom, FanFest. Done. That's all you got to do. And then that way you're keeping the communication lines open and you're talking about, to me, the big AAA games, save that for the showcase, right? That I get. But the smaller games, some of your indie titles, your AA titles, things that will literally get lost in the shuffle if you show them in a sizzle reel during the showcase, do those during your quote unquote Inside Xbox. Have the dev come in, be it remote or in studio, sit down, talk to them about their game, kind of get a progress update, talk about some of the services that Xbox is working on, cloud update, dashboard updates. I mean, there's other hardware iterations, things they could talk about throughout the year that doesn't have to be condensed into one big show. in June, right? And then you allow the show to breathe, the June show, the big show, with like 4 or 5 huge AAA titles like Starfield. Todd Howard comes out, has an extended conversation about it, demo the whole thing. To me, that makes more sense. I actually like what PlayStation does with the State of Play. Like this one doesn't have to be for everybody, but you gave a 20-minute update on a specific games that, again, would get lost in the shuffle if you tried to do that during one big event. So I do think, like I said, Xbox should probably have 4 to 5 shows per year. Like I said, the one big show, and then some smaller 30-minute, 45-minute shows, once a quarter. That's it. That's all they got to do. And I think that would satisfy people, and you're keeping the communication lines open with the community.
Yeah, I think 100% agree with you, man. I think it's better for Xbox to do something like that instead of just waiting until close to June. Nintendo has been really good at that, having multiple presentations during the years. And PlayStation also been trying to do the same. But here's the thing, that it's annoying seeing all these like tweets and also posts on YouTube where when PlayStation announces, okay, we're gonna have a new State of Play, people are thinking, yo, this is gonna be like the big announcement.
It's the internet.
Every single time. And then when it happens, when they show it, oh, this presentation sucks. I'm like, no, I think it was a great presentation for what it is. For during the time there's nothing really to announce. Save the big announcements for a bigger event later this year. It doesn't have to be now. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's a lot of announcements, yeah, maybe, announce one big one here and there, and save the rest for like the major showcase in the summer. You know what I'm saying? I don't get the whole thing, man. But yeah, like you said, Paris, I really enjoyed PlayStation's State of Play and Nintendo. And definitely Xbox needs to do something more in the future, man.
Do we think
I'll tell you offline.
Do we think that Nintendo has done it right with their little tree houses and their little direct lives? Do you think that is the format that should be done, or should be maybe mimicked or copied by Sony and Xbox? Or do you think that individually they seem to have their own little viewpoint on how they're things and they're doing it right? Personally, obviously this is subjective, but I mean, do we think that maybe does Nintendo have the right formula for those little live releases, or should it maybe be done, do we have a better idea or a better thought process of how that should be done?
I honestly, look, it's cool that a lot of companies are not exactly copying Nintendo. Everybody should have like their own version of their presentations, right? I think, of course, Nintendo was the first company to start doing this. Like, they don't need to have a major press conference at E3. And I remember during those days when Nintendo decided to do this and no presentation, a lot of people in the industry were like, oh, well, Nintendo's done. That's it. Like, they're done. And look now, years later. This is during I think it was during the Wii U days. That's when Nintendo decided to do this. And it's been a huge success. They control the message, right? They could do any announcements they want there. People are excited. They talk about it. I think it was genius from Nintendo. Now, for PlayStation and Xbox, they could just do their own thing, man. Do their own thing. I think there needs to be a presentation here and there, so there could be engagement, conversations online. People are hype about the announcements, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like you were saying, Paris, promote games that if they were promoted during the time of like E3 or in the summer, is it going to get lost because of all the AAA announcements that's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So I think this is like a great way to spread the word about it, And
I give you a perfect example. Replaced is a game that got shown during the Xbox showcase, right? Nobody talks about it. And it's a AA game. It's going to be on Game Pass. It's ironically enough, it's probably going to get delayed now due to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. But that's a prime example. Like, I would love if that game got shown and highlighted in a smaller event earlier in the year where it has room to breathe. So people, all eyeballs can focus on that instead of it being shown in a quick trailer and in a sizzle reel. hey, that looks cool, then everybody forgets about it. That's my point. I think some of these smaller games, especially since Xbox is doing Game Pass now, and the whole point of it is just the variety and diversity of games from the indie, the AA, and the AAA level. Let's have more shows that focus on those AA and indie games, so that when you do show off the big AAA games, they have their time, and then the smaller games have their time. Because again, let's keep it real. When the Xbox Showcase comes up this year in June, I allegedly, what's the main focus? Starfield, right? Forza Motorsport, Redfall. They're probably going to show Perfect Dark, Fable. That's all people are going to talk about. Then they'll have the smaller games sprinkled in. Oh, that's cool. No one's talking about them right after, because everyone's going to focus on the big stuff. So again, this is when you give room to more. Now, again, obviously, I got to peek behind the curtain because I got to host a couple events. That's kind of what Showcase Extended was to give more time to some of the other games, right? That's why they brought someone like myself in to host that. That's why at Gamescom, you also saw something similar where you had more time for that. I guess that's my point. Not, look, hey, they want me to host it, I'll do it. But not that it has to be me. Go for it. But my point is, really more what I did at Gamescom makes more sense to me. I would love to see them have a couple more shows like that throughout the year, to spotlight those games. Like, ironically enough, we know Larry, Major Nelson, Jeff, they do that podcast every week. And they do some of this on the podcast level. But Xbox as a whole doesn't promote that, right? So there's not this huge focus on what Major Nelson does, because you have, devs come on to interview and stuff like that, which is great. But it's not a big focus of it. I really think, Microsoft has that studio now where they can produce their own shows, stage the whole thing, utilize that more during the year for some of these smaller games. So they kind of get the quote unquote big stage too. That's all I'm saying. I think that would make a lot of sense for them.
Yeah. And look, even if there's like an announcement of an update of a game, it doesn't have to be announcements of new games.
Like Returnal, example, like the state of play.
Returnal,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And by the way, that was a huge surprise. I was not expecting that. That was so cool. And then I go online, then I see Paris looks at Halo Infinite. I'm like, what the heck?
Because that's a disappointment. Look, I don't know if you want to get into there or not. Because
let's go for it.
I talked about it on XCast already, and I've obviously been talking about it on social media because that one tweet wind up trending. That game should not have come out. Like, ironically enough, the more I've thought about it, first I was saying, oh, maybe it should just come out now. I'm starting to think they should have delayed it till holiday 2022. I really do. I really, truly, 100% honestly do. Because if you delay it until holiday 2022, co-op's ready, Forge is ready, you got more maps ready, you've curated more of your playlists on the multiplayer side, you've done more testing with the Battle Pass to get that locked in and tuned in more to the community's liking. That's what they should have done. They could have taken the multiplayer and continued to have flights this entire time. Get feedback from the community on what they want to see from a progression standpoint, from a reward standpoint. Get that co-op right. Get Forge right. Have it ready to go at launch, feature complete. As strong of a launch as Halo Infinite had in December, because I thought the campaign was great. I thought the way they introduced the multiplayer was fun. I'm just going to curse here. We simply ran out of shit to do. It's just the truth. So instead, especially since it's supposed to be a live service game, they probably should have just eaten it, taken their lumps, and delayed it 2 years to holiday 2022. I truly believe that. I honestly believe that. Yeah, people would have but by the time it would have come out, it would have been 100% feature complete, ready to go, polished, everything out the box. I think the community, because here's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get a lot of people back because we have to wait so long for new content. People are going to move on to playing other stuff. It's just the truth. It's just what's going to happen. You're not going to keep people engaged now because we're seeing the numbers. People have left in droves. Why am I coming back in November to play Halo Infinite multiplayer? What's the incentive? Is it Forge? Is it campaign co-op? What is it? I don't know. I honestly can't answer that question. Gaming is so diverse right now, and there's so many fun, interesting things to do. I'm not going to wait. It's kind of like Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not going to wait on that. I'm going to go do something else. And that's what's going to happen with Halo Infinite, right? So I don't know. Like looking back, I get why they launched it. I understand it. You know, I've talked to people at 343. I get it. But I think ultimately looking at it, and we're Monday morning quarterbacking here, but looking at it, I think it was a mistake. I think they should have waited. I really do.
You know what? I agree with you. It's like Forza Horizon series, especially 4, which has been out a very long time, and now with 5, there's always new content, so it will make people to go back and try it out. It could be expansions, new multiplayer, there's a lot of things to do. It doesn't feel like I've done everything. That's it. It's done. You know, with Halo, like for me, Paris, the first thing first, the game is not bad.
No,
it's just
and not at all. That isn't even the issue.
Yeah. But once you do everything in the game, you already complete the
replayability.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I already have. This is the first game season wise that I reached all the way to the top, to like 100, level 100, right? And now I feel like what else to do? Like I don't know if I should continue or what, you know? Because before, I was just having fun, right? But now that I reached that level, I'm like, all right, let me try all the games, man. And that's what's gonna happen. They need to release new content every 3 months, exactly like Warzone, Fortnite. Especially Apex, they always release new content there, man. You know, so people are always gonna go back, even if it's just for a little bit and move on. But it's always new content. But to wait from December all the way to May, way too long. Plus cheating, because people been cheating online too. You know, it's a lot of things that needs to be fixed. But I don't know, man. But I agree with you. Now 100% delayed to like holiday.
One other thing that I just want to chime in on that you said in that. The wait from December to May was too long. Agreed. But here's also the other problem with this. That wait from December to May, even the stuff we're getting in May, still ain't enough. Two maps, correct. No co-op.
Ridiculous.
Okay, we're getting what is it? Lone Wolf? Is that what it's called?
Lone Wolves.
Yeah,
Lone Wolves.
We're getting that whole playlist, which is great. But really, after 6 months, is that enough? Gonna burn through that so quick. And you're gonna be like, all right,
if you even go back. If you go back.
If you go back, then you're going to be like, all right, when's the next season? When am I getting the next stuff? Which it's looking like is probably not until this holiday. Hence my point. Should have just waited.
Oh, my God. That's so you're trying to tell me we wait till May, and then for May, we wait all the way to like November or something?
That's
like
what
that, like the next season?
We'll see. But that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like.
I'm curious if they're stacking content to do that rollout over the next maybe 8 to 10 months to satisfy the next year plus, so that then they finally gotten caught up. Because right now, like you said, it's not enough for me to, I've already uninstalled it from my machine. It's not enough for me to go and log in and re-download the game and get back situated into Halo. It's lost me, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's the reason I'm saying, imagine if you quote unquote, so someone called me out in the YouTube comment, I say quote unquote a lot. Oh, well, but
quote unquote.
Yeah. But if you wait until November and now you've really stacked content, right? Because like I said, now co-op's ready, Forge is ready, and you have all these maps and things. Not that you got to just dump them all in November, but now you can have, like you're saying, Danny, these 3-month seasons that is a regular cadence, and the community understands, all right, 3 months, I get this season. After that, I'm going to get season 2, 3, 4. I know every season I'm going to have some new maps. I'm going to have some new playlists, things to do. Whereas now, okay, after season 2, when am I getting it? I don't even know when I'm getting it. I have no idea when I'm getting it. I have no idea how much content I'm going to get with it. That's the problem. Because even if you had Forge ready at launch and you still had this long delay from December until May, I could excuse that because at least the community could entertain themselves with Forge, right? Creating their own maps, creating their own unique playlists, doing things like that. But the fact that Forge is basically the last thing that you're going to get, I think that's a mistake. I think that was unacceptable. Oh, and by the way, campaign co-op's not there too, which, excuse me, before launch, I thought, not a big deal. As I'm playing through the campaign, I go, damn, I wish I could do co-op right now. That's all I kept thinking the whole time. So that turned out to be a mistake too.
And you know what is a mistake too, Paris? Eh, the timing. The new Halo TV series is coming out now. This is the perfect time to add so much content because
That's
there's
the
going to be
point.
a whole new
Mhm.
audience that's watching the series that never played the game. They're going to go and download it. Is it enough content for them too? You get what I'm saying? And also the hardcore fans that have been playing Halo for years, right? This is another opportunity to just have new content. Get people excited about the franchise, man.
Mhm.
This is the perfect time now that the Halo TV series is coming out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I just feel like it was just like bad planning. I think,
Mhm.
man.
But that goes right back to
Bad
the same
planning.
question. Is that Halo TV show going to be enough to push or bring or pull people back in? I say push, maybe to nudge them back in, to nudge them into going and downloading or buying it. Or is it enough to pull people that were there before and pull them back into into the game?
Well,
Well-
two things. What we're gonna find out once the series comes out because they're gonna 343 and Xbox and also Paramount. They're gonna push this like crazy. 'Cause look, even when you watch CBS, like even the local channels or through the app, there's ads of Master Chief in it. They even have the iconic song from Master Chief, Halo, and they have all the characters from all the Viacom content in there together in the trailer. So they're really pushing this. Like this is like the main uh premiere big show for Paramount Plus. Similar to like how Paramount is promoting the Star Trek series, the Twilight Zone series, like that type of thing. So they're going really all out with this, man. Now, are we gonna see a bunch of people watching it and like similar to what happened with The Witcher on Netflix? I have no idea. It's like one of those like wait and see what happens. And I hope to God that the series is good. Because if it's good, it's gonna help the franchise even more. People are gonna get curious about the books, about the story, So we'll see. And I think when The Witcher came out for Netflix, the sales of the game of The Witcher 3, it blew up. It was really good for a CD Projekt Red. So now for the second season, there was not a huge buzz, like compared to the first one. Am I right, Paris? Like The Witcher series, season 2, it wasn't as big as the first one, like conversation wise, from like people, the fans online.
I would disagree.
felt like it was-
I would disagree with you. I think there was a lot of chatter by it.
Really? I
Yeah.
felt like it wasn't compared
You
to
got to
the first
remember
one.
they did WitcherCon right before that. Season 2 was very strong. I mean, there was a lot of anticipation for it. Came out during the holidays, just same as the first season did. I thought it was, but I'm a fan, so what do I know?
Yeah, you're a fan. You're a fanboy. You're a fanboy. Dr. Fanboy.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right, Gamertag Radio, let's talk about our sponsor here, Trade Coffee. 90% of coffee from the grocery store is actually stale. You heard that right. The coffee you know and think you love needs an upgrade. Instead of rebuying the same old, let Trade Coffee send you something freshly roasted that you're literally guaranteed to love. Trade sells the freshest roasted and authentically sourced beans from America's best independent roasters. They ship free to you as often as you like. It could be whole or ground. And I have to mention that I've been subscribed to this service and already have like 3 packages already that came in. And let me tell you, it is so delicious. The first one I got, which I'm mentioning here multiple times on Gamer Tag Radio, is Alma. And they also sent me recently one. It has like a Latin America flavor. Everything, man. I'm loving it. And this is like a great way for me to make my coffee in the morning right before I record Gamertag Radio, or even when I start working. I think this is something that I love, and I think you guys are going to love it too. And not only that, I went to the site, took the test. It took me a few minutes, and based on the type of coffee that I like, that's when Trade Coffee will recommend you and will say, okay, we're going to send you these type of coffee to your house. So Gamertag Radio listeners, go right now, take the coffee quiz. It only takes a few minutes of your time, and Trade Coffee guarantees that you will love your first bag, or they will replace it for free. Trade has been featured in multiple places by the New York Times, Wired, GQ, and has delivered over 5 million bags of coffee. Yes, that's right, 5 million coffee. There is no subscription, no hassle. Skip shipments, change your frequency, or cancel at any time. And for our listeners right now, Trade Coffee is offering a total of $20 off your first 3 bags when you go to drinktrade.com/GTR. To get started, take the quiz at drinktrade.com/GTR and start your journey to your perfect cup. That's right, drinktrade.com/GTR for your $20 off your first 3 bags. We would like to thank Trade Coffee for sponsoring this episode of Gamer Tag Radio.
This is Gamer Tag Radio.
All right, let's go to the next topic here. And this is for Pete. And I have no idea if Pete watched the presentation of Dead Space a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, that the game. I know it's not a new game. It's not a brand new Dead Space game, but it's a new look. It's a remake of the original game, which we both are a huge fan since the beginning, man. I know even when this was announced before the game came out, we were like super excited. You went to the event. Long story. People can listen to the podcast about that, but. Watching this presentation, Pete, seeing this how it sounds, graphic, the way you play, oh man, I'm freaking excited for this game, dude. How about you?
Well, remember, this is probably one of the personal opinion best thriller/horror games we've had in a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And in a game like that, audio is crucial, right? Whether it's the horn jabs that are in sync with key moments in the game, or even down to the hoarse, labored breathing of someone like Isaac as he's running through the tunnels, running away from his enemies. Mm-hmm. That whole system of sounds, right? His labored breathing as he's running, and it gets more and more labored as he continues to run and lose stamina, and then hearing how they're keying in on things like that, keying in on his heartbeat, how it starts to pound louder and louder and louder as he pushes and pushes and pushes. Those things, whether you realize them or not, are actually little psychological cues through the audio to get you tensed up and into the moment of the game. So when I first went to that original community event, one of the biggest things was having the audio director there and giving us an explanation on things. And since that, it has changed my perception of audio in game to the point now where before I would just like put on like a podcast or put on music and listen to it while playing the game. But ever since then, that is when I started taking more cues and being like, you know what? Let's see what they had to do it, because it is a very, very important part of the video game. Watching this, watching this 4-part series on how they focused on the Alive system, audio occlusion, the audio of the weaponry, and which has always been fantastic. And then going just through the atmosphere of the game, the little pings, the scratches of the claws in the distance. It's always been a phenomenal treat for me, and to see how they're keying in on that and cleaning up the audio or creating all new and just making it just almost like a 4D environment of audio on top of the amazing story and gameplay that we're going to get. I'm super hyper excited on this. I don't know how much more I can say it, and it's gonna be a thrill. I'm really, really looking forward to this. It's gonna be one of those few games that I actually come back to play, because for me it's always been okay. That surprise is over. I've already played the game. I don't go back. I think I've only done that maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. This is gonna up that number by 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I'm super excited for this, man. Super excited. And who knows? Maybe they'll change a couple things when it comes to like story wise. Maybe that will like a teaser for like the next Dead Space. That's possible too. You never know. But yeah, very excited about it, man. Very, very excited. Mm-hmm. Anything else about that, Pete?
Not
Guys,
much.
You have any Any
not
opinion
much
about
for
two? You
me.
can feel free.
The fact that they're using, the Frostbite engine to rebuild the game from the ground up, reimagining or updating assets from the original game. And we talked about this when they first announced it last year. They're not going to screw up the story, right? They said that they're going to improve it. I don't know how you do that. Maybe they take out some of the more duller, vague areas and just keep the intensity and the action throughout. But you always need those peaks and valleys so that you recover, and then boom, they hit you again. But again, I'm looking forward to it. They've got a whole, they've got a great group of people working on it, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah, I can't wait. Paris, you have any opinions about this or no? You're good.
I mean, I like Dead Space. I wish this wasn't just a remake. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like if Ubisoft announces, "Hey, we're gonna have just a remake." Would that get you excited or not really? Or you want a brand new game?
Yeah, I'd rather have a brand new game. Oh, it's just like, because isn't even the Splinter Cell, isn't that a remake too? They said.
No, is it?
I think they said that, and I think
double check.
And I think I instantly got disappointed because I know I'm not excited about it.
Oh, wait. Go double check because I don't remember it. I thought it was a new game. If it's a remake, I mean, I'll play it.
Everything I'm seeing
Splinter Cell
is a
remakes
remake.
begins development at Ubisoft Toronto. Yep.
2 months
Why
ago.
But here's the thing, there's games that get us excited and we'll play. Like, for example, Paris, you got excited about Mass Effect, the trilogy they remake, and it came out. A lot of people bought it, went back and played it. What's the difference? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I think it'll be fun to go back and
I got excited. I got excited about it, but do you really think I went back and replayed it all? Absolutely not. I jumped into
play for a couple.
I jumped into 2. I go, oh, this is cool. I don't want to devote all this time to this. I'd rather go play something new. And then I stopped. It's just the truth of the matter. That's my point. That's why I don't want to remake. I'd rather have something new. But that's me. I get it. There's a nostalgia factor there. There are people that will be excited about this. I'm not trying to take anyone's joy away, but just don't expect me to be running out day one trying to go play it, because I won't.
It's like, honestly, it's quick money for companies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, they got me. Look, I went back and played Alan Wake when it was on PlayStation, and I'm excited for the new Alan Wake coming out in the future.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. So there you go. All right, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up, or no?
I just want your opinion on, because there was like this small little news item that I don't know if a lot of people picked up on it. Project Keystone for Xbox. Do you know what that could be?
What is that?
Wait, I heard about this week. Now I'm forgetting. It potentially is like a streaming stick.
Okay, like a USB, correctly. Like an xCloud dongle type thing?
Yeah.
It's funny that I mentioned that a couple years ago. People were laughing at me for saying it, but it's okay.
Oh my God! Do we really got to go back down this thing again? Because
I said, no. Hold on a second.
On top of it.
No. I said, it's possible that we might see that in the future for Xbox. It'll be great to get like a whole audience that would love to play games through their devices instead of the phone or whatever. And I remember you guys were making fun of me, like, no, they don't need that. Just release as an app. That's it. That's all they need. I'm like, really? But it's okay. I don't know anything. But yeah.
Pena's enhanced. Here we go.
I said, "Hey, P, your camera went. Oh, there you go. Now it's on." It's like me saying, the foreskew. I was kind of. I mean, I know it sounds bonkers.
No, this is not foreskew. This was not foreskew. No, this was not foreskew, Danny.
Let me Come on. Hey, man, look, let me tell you, that was one of the best content ever for GTR. People were laughing. They were cutting grass listening to that episode and cracking up. Come on. Hey. Still to this day, people are talking about it. Come on. Foreskew, Let Me Dream.
Does not make
Fire
it
Stick.
right. Doesn't make it right.
It is right.
Oh, God.
I'm always right. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right, guys, head over to gamertagradio.com, put your comments and feedback, listen to our past episodes. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. And look, go right now, follow us, subscribe, and also, for those who are listening or watching this, post a review. I don't care if it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It will help us out. It will help us out. So take your time while listening to the show, review us, and help us out here, right? Also, if you'd like to be part of our family discussion, send us questions. You want us to answer your questions? Maybe a debate. Maybe there's something you agree. Hey, hit us up. And here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I love recording with us three, man. It's been kind of difficult with scheduling, and people have been busy, but every time we get all us three together to record, it's a lot of fun, man. And Foreskew, there you go. And until next time, guys, we are out. Peace. Let me dream. There. That was fun.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.